You see, I view it as our obligation as independent news to call out regime media in all of its manifestations, both the obvious and more subtle manifestations. The obvious manifestations, CBS under Barry Weiss killing a critical 60-minute story exposing the Trump regime's deportations of Venezuelans to the El Salvador concentration camp, where human beings under the United States auspices were systematically tortured physically and sexually, and CBS aiding and abetting the regime in covering it up and killing a story. In more subtle means, the way coverage is presented at a national and local level by corporate means, by corporate media, sane washing the Trump regime's ICE and Border Patrol Gestapo tactics, where they go through towns and cities and peaceful areas and start bashing in windows, ripping people apart from their families, throwing people into cages under the pretext that they're out there looking for predators. They often never find the quote unquote predator, but they find people around them and destroy and ruin their lives, and we never hear from some of these people again. Now, MeidasTouch can't be everywhere all at once, so it's incumbent upon us to work with groups that I think are doing a great job in the independent media space, and we do our best to uplift these groups. And you know, lately we've been partnering with an incredible independent media outlet called Status Coup, and they've done a brilliant expose with us, exposing the horrific coverage by NBC, which is quasi or full state regime media type propaganda of the immigration raids taking place in Minnesota. Now, Status Coup has reporters all across the country, and they're embedded not on the front lines with the regime, but on the front lines with the people, with the migrants, with the citizens, with the people of the United States. And so they're on that side, while corporate news regime media is often with the regime, trying to get the regime perspective. So which perspective do we want? What's actually going on, the pain and suffering, the torture that's being inflicted on the people, to bring you the real news? Or do we want to show you what the sane washing propaganda regime wants to hear? No, that's why we partnered work with Status Coup. So I want to share this with you, because Status Coup, in this brilliant piece right here, they show that the NBC coverage is completely at odds with the real events of what ICE and Border Patrol were doing in Minnesota. You have JT Sostowski, you know JT, he kind of leads the coverage here, but he talks about the local reporter that they had, John Farina, on the ground in Minnesota. And we've been working with Status Coup. This report is incredible, how they break down the tactics, the means, the methods that's used by NBC as quasi-state regime or state regime to try to cover up, not just sane wash, but promote the regime's militarized propaganda. But we need to see through it. So I would just make this one request to you. Subscribe not just to our YouTube channel here on the MeidasTouch and help us get to 6 million subscribers. That would be great, of course. But then go and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel for Status Coup. They've got a great Substack. They've got a great YouTube. We want to help build and uplift them, because they're doing real great work, and their work's going to be even more important next year. So let's bring in JT Sostowski, and this is a report that is this is the type of investigative reporting and the type of reporting that, to me, we need to do more of here at the MeidasTouch Network, and that's going to leave an impression on you forever. So let's bring in JT Sostowski.
I'm JT Sostowski for Status Coup. It's rare when we can draw direct
Atheism has to be one of the most, if not the most, foolish religions in the world.
All right, let's see it.
Already there's atheists who are wanting to write, it's not a religion, it's the belief in no religion. No, that is not true. Atheism, by definition, is a belief that there is no God. It is not the absence of belief in a God, it is the active belief that there is no God.
So while I would agree that that last definition best aligns with the majority usage of the concept of atheism in the modern world, that doesn't remotely render it a religion. And also, this is an appeal to definition fallacy, because it's trying to say that because we can define atheism as X, it cannot be defined as Y, as if definitions could be exclusive or prescriptive or authoritative. They are none of those things. They follow after usage and describe usage, because usage is the only real authority here. So atheism is whatever people use the concept to index or refer to. And people use it in a variety of different ways, which is why there are a variety of different definitions of atheism. But just like religion, atheism is not an actual sui generis category that exists out there in the world. It's something that is created within and does not exist apart from our discourse. So really, the only productive way to define it would be discursively, and you can see this article by Koku von Stuckrad for discussion of discursive conceptualizations of religion. I'd also recommend this article by Jonathan Jong on not defining non-religion. And if you would like further discussion on atheism, particularly in the ancient world, I would recommend Tim Whitmarsh's book, Battling the Gods. And then I've also got a chapter from my doctoral dissertation that I pulled out of the dissertation so that I could publish it independently on the development of the concept of religion and why it's problematic to try to define it today. And you can find that through the link tree in my bio.
Which is absolutely foolish. In Psalm 14 in the Bible, it says that the fool says in his heart, there is no God.
And Psalm 137 says, "Blessed is the one who grabs and smashes your children against the rock." Just because it's in the Bible doesn't make it true. But also, Psalm 14 as well as Psalm 53 are not about atheism. Ein Elohim is not a declaration of the philosophical non-existence of any and all deities. It's a declaration of the non-relevance of the God of Israel. That's what the concern is. People are not seeking out God. People don't care about God. It's not about existence. It's about relevance. This is not an argument. This is just cheerleading.
In Proverbs 9:10, it says, "Fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom."
And Proverbs 23:14 says you should beat your children with a rod so that you save their lives from Sheol. Again, just because it's in the Bible doesn't necessarily mean it's true. And if your argument only works for those who presuppose the inerrancy, the historicity, the univocality, and or the inspiration of the Bible, then your argument does not work for anyone who does not.
Those two things line up well. Because the one who is an atheist, he doesn't fear God. He hates God, desperately hates God, and doesn't want him to exist.
This is laughably false and very obviously not based on any data or any serious engagement with arguments about atheism. This is just a rationalization that has been ginned up in an effort to try to disincentivize people from taking atheism seriously. In other words, this is rhetorical prophylaxis for theism.
Typically the reason that the atheist rejects God is because the atheist is doing something that the atheist knows is absolutely morally disgusting, or is in support of something that is absolutely morally disgusting, and they don't want to be held accountable for that which they're actively partaking in.
Same type of rhetorical prophylaxis that's not based on any data whatsoever. It's just another attempt to try to disincentivize people from taking atheism seriously by suggesting that not only are atheists hateful and stupid, they're also morally disgusting. So you don't even have to pretend to listen to them. You can just stay safe inside this warm blanket of theism.
But for anyone to actually try to make the claim that they don't believe in God is pretty absurd. For a few reasons. First and foremost, the Bible is absolutely objectively truth. It is amazing. It is impossible that the Bible exists. And yet it does.
Look, I'm not an atheist in any way, shape, or form whatsoever, but the notion that the Bible is
amazing. It is impossible that the Bible exists. And yet it does.
Look, I'm not an atheist in any way, shape, or form whatsoever, but the notion that the Bible is objectively truth and is impossible is just laughably stupid rhetoric. Like, that is the most pathetic cheerleading for the Bible I've heard in a long, long time.
We'll get into more videos on that. But Romans chapter 1, verse 18, it tells us that every single person knows that God exists, but we suppress the truth in unrighteousness.
And in Romans 1, Paul's natural theology rhetoric is just his own rationalization for why he should be able to condemn the Greco-Roman world for not appropriately worshiping a God they don't believe in. Again, just because the Bible says it doesn't make it true.
Meaning it is out of our sinfulness, it is out of our hatred towards God that we actually deceive ourselves to the level that we actually do believe that there is no God. We make ourselves completely foolish by our sinfulness, by our ignorance, to the point that we literally start to pretend that there is no God. That is absolutely absurd. That is ridiculous.
What is absurd and ridiculous is the notion that you would expect anyone who does not already presuppose the inerrancy of the Bible to take seriously an argument that first requires you presuppose the inerrancy of the Bible. But I know that's not what you're actually trying to do. You're not actually trying to convince anyone who doesn't already agree with you. You're just trying to make folks who already agree with you feel like they're right. Again, you're just cheerleading.
See, if you look at the world, it is truly impossible to try to pretend that there's no such thing as God. Literally every aspect of the world is proof that there is a God. Literally every single part is proof that there is a God, that there is a creator.
All right, this is getting too asinine. The fit for this video has been Frog and Toad.
Do you guys know about low background steel? Oh, this is such a cocktail chatter.
So we have a ton of conundrums for you tonight.
Who decides where the dog walks, you or the dog?
You could send a max of 5 words back in time to anyone in history.
Don't go to the play.
He's not at the play.
I need to lie down.
Hello, and welcome to the Slate Political Gabfest, December 25th, 2025, the 2025 Conundrums Edition. We are live at the Society for Ethical Culture in Manhattan before a packed house of beautifully dressed yet morally perplexed New Yorkers. They don't know whether an octopus has arms or legs, whether if you were a pastry, what pastry you would be, whether in the New World Order you would be ruled by banks or AI or cats. But don't worry, my dear Gotham friends, by the end of the evening, you will have pure moral clarity. I am David Plotz, host of CityCast, and joining me on the Conundrum stage are my 2 Gabfest co-hosts. On my far left, he's the same age, I bet you didn't know this, the same age that George Washington was when he became president, that Thomas Jefferson was when he became president, and James Madison was when he became president.
If asked, I will not serve.
You're not the one who's going to be asked that tonight. Formerly of CBS News, as of the time the show comes out, John Dickerson. And to my immediate left, she has argued so few cases in court that Trump has just named her a U.S. attorney. The best legal mind in this time zone or any other from Yale University Law School and the New York Times, Emily Bazelon. And when it came time to find a guest for the 20th anniversary show and for our conundrum show, there was really no choice. We tried to have him a couple of years ago. His appendix burst.
Really good
With excitement.
excuse.
You got sober, you got verklempt, you plotzed.
We
In
have
fact,
that effect on people.
He's had a big week because he's been on the Gabfest and he talked to Taylor Swift. So like, that seems pretty good. The most humane man you will find, as humane as he is funny, Stephen Colbert.
Thank you, David. Hey! Yes, I'm on. I'm so excited.
So we have a ton of conundrums for you tonight. We're gonna go fast, and we're gonna start with a banana. So you have 2 bananas. One of them is perfect, says Carl Cronlage. One of them is perfect. Another banana is just a little too ripe. So if you eat the perfectly ripe banana, by the time you get to the overly ripe banana, it'll be gone. You'll have to throw it away. But if you eat the overly ripe banana, by the time you get to the perfect banana, it will be overripe. So, Emily Bazelon, which banana do you eat?
I eat the overly ripe banana every time, but most people, even people in my house, do not do this and think this is like ridiculous and has a kind of 1970s, hair shirt quality that you're punishing yourself with the overripe banana. But I mean, otherwise you're wasting the overripe banana.
Wait, do you people not make banana bread? What is wrong with you?
That is the right answer.
Do you
You're
not
right.
have Jane Brody?
Yeah.
You do make
Wait.
banana
I
bread.
used to make a lot of banana bread. I haven't been making it, and now there are more overripe bananas going into my mouth.
What would a chimpanzee do, or WWCD?
Well,
With a chimpanzee, what's our
the
natural
overripe
instinct?
banana, the chimpanzee doesn't care, I feel.
Doesn't he go for the best thing available?
But does he define best as the non-ripe banana?
Many of the chimpanzees with whom I hang out
Right.
do.
I feel like
Who wants second banana?
your answer is different from mine on this.
My answer is I want an orange.
Mike, with your chimpanzee example, do chimpanzees encounter bananas in the wild? Or is that something we've laid on to chimpanzees? Like elephants pick up peanuts with their trunk, but they're not farming peanuts on the African savannah. They didn't evolve the trunk to pick up a peanut. I don't know whether monkeys have an evolutionary response to banana.
You know, one of the most ridiculous Slate stories, and back in the day when there was a sort of Slate pitch, there was someone wrote a story, and he argued that we should eat bananas upside down because that was how monkeys ate them. That they actually
They do peel better from the other side.
Oh, you're one of those people.
No, but they do. I'm not saying we must, but they do peel better from the other side. But you've been
How do you
brainwashed into
start the
thinking that
peel?
thing on the top is a handle.
Yeah, it is a handle.
It doesn't open nearly as well. Thank you.
Okay, Stephen Colbert, what unsolved mystery would you like the answer to?
Oh.
Asked Elodie Houston.
Oh, I am kind of curious in Mesoamerica, there are these giant, perfectly round carved stone balls. And some of them are like the size of a bowling ball, and some of them are the size of like a semi-truck cab. They're enormous. They have no idea. They're not even entirely sure what culture they belong to. But they're perfectly round. They must have been incredibly hard to carve, and we have no idea what meaning they're supposed to have, what they're supposed to convey, anything like that. My second choice is those little Roman dodecahedrons that have at the vertices of each of the 12 sides, have little balls, and they're found all over ancient Roman ruins, and we don't know what they did.
Oh.
So those are my 2. Big round balls.
I want to hear yours.
Mine is, I've heard people say, oh, the song Piano Man is about a gay bar. And I've always wondered, did Billy Joel write the song Piano Man about a gay bar?
I actually, and I could be making this up, but I thought I heard Billy Joel tell the story that's about a real bar that he really played at, and he used their real names, and when the song was a hit, they were pissed. You know?
Because he outed them?
Because he outed them as desperately sad individuals.
Okay, so I took this question way too seriously. You'll be so surprised to hear. I want to know what Jesus, was there Jesus? Who was he? Did he think he was creating a whole new religion? What did he think was going on? Like, and does he look back and think like, yes, that's what I meant?
Normally,
we're surrounded by Christians here.
I know,
Normally-
I'm really very curious.
Normally, I play the role of the public Catholic, but I have America's foremost public Catholic on the stage with me. I hand it over to you, Stephen.
I mean, don't you want to know? It seems
yeah,
really
sure, of course.
important.
I only want to know. Of course, as Judas says in Jesus Christ Superstar.
Right.
Tell me, every time I look at you, I don't understand. How'd you let the things you did get so out of hand? You'd have
Exactly.
managed better if you'd had it planned. Why'd you choose such a backward time in such a strange land? Did you mean to die like that? Was that a mistake? Or did you know your messy death would be a record breaker? Don't you get me wrong. There you go.
Exactly.
Tell me what you think about your friends at the top.
I didn't learn that at CCD.
It's a great musical.
I
What
think
about
there
you?
are some historical references, like I think Justice writes about him and Joseph. There are a couple people at the time, contemporary, wrote that there was a person named Jesus who was killed, but that's all we've got.
Yes, it seems like there was someone like that. But whether he had all the attributes, said all the things, and then what does he think about what happened afterward? Like lots of things happened in his name.
Wait, I think aren't you mushing several? You're mushing another question into
Yeah,
yours.
actually, this isn't even another one. Mitchell Kosh, who I talked to at our pre-show party.
It's a great question.
Which historical figure do you think would be most surprised about their legacy?
Yeah, that was a good segue by accident.
Sam Adams.
Yeah. He wasn't that good a brewer.
He wasn't a brewer at all.
I think Kafka, didn't he die thinking he was a disaster and asked his estate to burn his books and get rid of them entirely?
Yes.
And now,
I mean, Van Gogh is another
yeah.
person like
But-
that. Sad. We don't have to make this a sad answer, but we already did.
But don't you think? I think it's much more like what Steven said. It's somebody who dies and comes back and discovers they're huge. Like Amerigo Vespucci comes back and discovers like half the world is named after me. He's like some random map maker.
That's
He's like-
crazy.
oh, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Or I just watched a Rome, Augustus Caesar. I mean, he did make himself a god, but he comes back and he's like August. There's a
Well,
whole month that is named after me.
but is
all
the-
over the world.
Is the salad to Caesar as the beer is to Sam Adams? And he would.
think it is.
What if he was a total jerk about the salad? He came back and, what are these croutons doing in here?
He would have loved the anchovies. I think
Maybe
Romans
the
loved
Caesar
anchovies.
salad is Julius Caesar, and it's okay because like Augustus Caesar has other things going for him. They could split. You could just like give credit if you didn't like the salad to the other person.
Okay. Does anyone else have a historical figure they think would that would be surprised about their legacy?
Do you?
Well, someone
Well,
in
he
the
did
cocktail
Vespucci.
party said Mary, Jesus' mother.
Mary,
would-
the mother of God.
Yeah.
Really?
Like I was a virgin. I'm like all of
It
everyone.
must have been surprising at the time. I think once you've gotten over that part,
Yes. And once you've spoken to the angel Gabriel,
Immaculate Conception
you're catching
was the
on.
thing. Yeah.
Okay, John Dickerson, you could send a max of 5 words back in time to anyone in history, says Brian. They will know it came from the future. Who do you contact and what message do you send?
I send, don't go to the play.
I'm thinking.
Steven, do you have any?
he's not at the play. I love the Lincoln Memorial. Trying to rob me of that, John?
Right. Now I'm thinking of, yeah. No, you go with a different one. We should.
I was thinking, well, I would only send one back to someone who is I would only send it back after I was already alive, because I'd be worried that if I sent it back too far back in history, then I would change history such that I would never be born, and that would cause some paradox. So I
Oh
narrowed
my
it. So
God.
mine is
You're taking all the fun out
okay,
of
but
this.
mine
You're
is
plotting this one.
Mine is The Apprentice Will Bomb, and you send it to Mark Burnett.
Oh, that is a good one.
4. I did it in 4.
You did 4. That's nice.
I mean, that is a really good
Wait, I
one,
ignored
have
all
to
that
say.
shit you were saying at the start, and now you've said something that appears to be quite appealing. Would you explain what you meant again?
So if you tell Mark Burnett The Apprentice Will Bomb, he's like, I don't want to create a stupid show that's going to fail with Trump. I'll do something else. And Trump does not, The Apprentice doesn't develop. But then I thought, actually, I've thought about this a lot. Then I thought, actually, if you tell Mark Burnett that Burnett, I think, must be a very savvy guy. He's like, wow, the future is telling me something that the Apprentice is so important that if I put it on the air, it's going to change history. And so I better put the Apprentice on the air.
Maybe you should be like The Apprentice meh, something that
Yeah.
just makes it seem like kind of boring, but you
Yeah.
can be a little casual about it.
But
Though
why
if
would
you're
you,
sending the
you're
message
sending it back to history.
Yeah, I don't know.
past.
The Apprentice will. What could you say that Mark Barnett would care
I think he would
about?
say another project of his will succeed. Whatever else he was working on.
That's a
It'd
good
be like,
idea. Do this other. Do
Yeah.
X instead.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Stephen Colbert, if you could be reincarnated as a pastry or baked good and didn't have to worry about being eaten,
That was the first thing that came to mind. Because I was going to be something terrible.
what
Go
would
on.
You,
Yes.
what would you want to be? You would have all the qualities of that pastry. Phil Goldstein asks.
I think I would be an almond croissant. But like a proper almond croissant where the frangipane is baked into it, not where it's cut open and then it's spread in later, like you get it like au bon pain or some of that bullshit. It's got to be baked in there with it, so the layers are all in there. Because the croissant is a vehicle for butter and flakiness, and it's fantastic. And there is no amount of almond extract flavoring as opposed to almond. There's any... I won't go long for almond, but you'll notice that all almonds taste alike, and all almond extract or almond paste taste alike, and they don't taste like each other. That heady, perfumey, intoxicating almond smell, just to know that I smell like that.
Do you?
I bet there's no way I would survive, because who could keep themselves from eating a
Your
flaky,
wife is in the
almond-filled
audience,
Stephen
man.
Colbert? What'd you say?
Your wife is in the audience. She might be alarmed at the prospect of you smelling this way.
No, I
I'm
think
married
not.
in this?
Appearing.
You're married to
So I have to figure out what pastry she is too? Okay, that's my answer. I'm sticking by it.
I think I have to choose the humble bagel because I want to go back and find out about how bagels became this thing. Right? You could go back to the 18th or 19th century, find out who decided to boil them before baking them, who put the poppy seeds and sesame seeds on. No, you're not convinced.
Wait, if you're a bagel, you would be a bagel
I think
historian?
You want to be the first bagel?
Yeah, I want to be the first bagel.
She's a
Exactly.
No way,
bagel
that's a good-
studying bagel.
I want to be the first bagel and then be part of the historical lore of the development of the bagel.
Wow. The bagel scribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a better answer?
Wow. No, I'm just trying to wrap my head around the bagel. I think a perfect waffle. Yeah, warm right out of the waffle iron.
So you want to be the thing you want to eat, even though you're not going to be eaten out of existence.
By the way, the question is pastry or baked good. Does that count? Because I got in the trouble with the fish or tree. I said dolphin, which is neither. So I have difficulty with
I
categories.
feel like waffle's in the family. Dolphin was not a fish at all.
Well, I mean, because I wouldn't want to be accused of. Nice.
Waffle.
That was a dad joke too low for you to say. You made the audience say it.
Well, I have
He
standards.
wanted his pun to be understood. Yeah.
David?
I mean, I'm taken by the almond croissant answer. That seems great. But We don't need to hang out. You can be over there. I'll be in the different.
Oh, you're an
part of
almond
the
croissant too.
Yeah,
Other part
I
of
love
the
that.
Okay, great.
cabinet. It's okay.
Okay.
Okay. Can I ask the next one?
Sure.
Of the four of us, who would be the best dictator?
Can I get a definitional help here? Does best mean ruthless in carrying out their individual aims?
Right.
Or that we as subjects would most like as
Right,
dictators?
because succeeding in a dictator could mean lots of brutality and
Because
repression.
if you're a benevolent dictator, are you still a dictator?
Right.
Yes, you are.
yes.
Okay.
You are. I mean,
Yeah.
the dictator, it comes from like the Roman. The Romans would have a dictator where this person would be imbued with sort of ultimate power for a short period of time
And they
in order to
weren't
get
all
in order to get through a crisis, and then that person would step down and would go back to the republic. I think it's David without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's me too, and I'll tell you why I think it's me.
That's just what a dictator would say.
I don't.
Exactly. I rest my case.
And I should
wanna be
note,
the
I should
dictator.
note, I think it's possible that it might be Stephen, but I don't think so, because I think the difference between, I think the fundamental quality of a dictator is a utilitarian way of thinking about the world. You look to the solution to the problem rather than the process to get you there. And you're like, I want to get there. It doesn't matter how we get there. And you don't think about the people, like you guys, and I speak for you too, and I think I speak for you, like the way you look at the world is immediately through human beings. And like as I'm a kind person, I'm like a kind, lovely person, but that's not fundamental.
All the kindest, loveliest people describe themselves as such. That's what I've
You were
learned.
a really good boss, is why I picked you, and I do
But I
think
think
that
because I have like boundary. I'm like let's get this done.
it's true that you are.
But I do think that you guys are more
Tactful.
porous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also,
true.
with me, there would be neglect. I'd get, because when you're a dictator, you have access to a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, that's true. You would get distracted.
I would get easily
You would
distracted.
go play video games. Absolutely.
Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
Why
Might
do you
have
think
your
would be good?
notebooks.
I think you'd be good.
What? Oh, I meant, why do you think you'd be bad?
Well, I think you'd be more likely to be a dictator than the rest of us. I don't know if you'd be good or bad, but because you take charge, like you're running this right now. That's one thing, and it's kind of natural that you would. Second, you don't mind taking an unpopular position.
yes.
You know, that's another thing. Dictators sometimes have to take an unpopular position. And third, for those of us who have listened to the Gab Fest, I've listened to every episode of the Gab Fest since 2009, and then I went back and listened to the earlier ones. You are famous among your fans for being in favor of corruption.
That is a good quality
I
of a
realize-
dictator. Probably
You
necessary
think corruption's kind of a
quality.
good thing.
I realized when on the broadcast, sorry to spoil this for everybody, but on the show we taped yesterday, there was a moment where somebody was talking about corruption, and I was like, and corruption's a bad thing, right? Thinking I was being sarcastic, and then I was like, oh no, I forgot. Up for grabs. By the way, can I just say, David got to introduce all of us, but not himself, and this is a moment in which we should all give it up for David Plotz.
Okay.
I like that.
This leads to a question that so many people submitted.
Yes.
We'll give it to Eric Coyote, considering your special guest. Should Stephen Colbert run for president in 2028?
And who are you asking that of?
I'm asking that. I mean, I could start. We could start with us and then go to him.
Do we
Should
think
Stephen Colbert
should
run for president?
You know my answer on this.
It's so miserable to
Why
run
would
for
you do that?
president.
Why would you do that to him?
Absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely, I should not run for president. I understand why you'd want me to. But, I mean, that is something, David, and everyone here tonight, that is something I'm going to have to discuss, obviously, with my faith leader and my family to see if once my service on The Late Show ends in May, if I can be of some greater service to this nation that I love so much. Because what I believe is America's the last best hope of mankind, and if there's anything I can do to forward the mission of our founding fathers, whose love of freedom and belief in the rights of man abides in my heart, like the very blood in my veins and the strength in my arms, why, who am I to say that I should run? But if I hear the call, obviously, of the Lord, please sit down. And please sit down.
All right.
You did run once.
I ran twice.
Oh.
I ran in 2007 and I ran in 2012. I ran both times. I ran as President of the United States of South Carolina because I only ran in South Carolina. And they got mad. Everybody, Democrats more than Republicans, I'll tell you that. They got super mad at me, yeah.
I was at your event with Herman Cain.
Oh, that was in 2012.
Yeah.
That was the Super PAC run, yeah.
Yeah, massive outdoor event, well attended.
7,000 people, absolutely beautiful at College of Charleston. It was beautiful. And Herman Cain, he was fun. We closed the rally by singing the Pokemon song. Gotta catch 'em all.
Well, just to be serious, we've had a bunch of people who want to be president on the podcast before. We had Rahm Emanuel a few weeks ago. We've had Wes Moore. We had Mitch Daniels.
Is Wes said he's going to run?
I don't know, but he clearly wants to be president. I would pick you over any of them.
Oh, wow.
I would pick you over any of them.
Well, there it
in
is.
A second. Yeah.
I just got the plot. I got the plot.
I'm the dictator. I'm the dictator.
Right? You could order it, David.
You could just
order it
declare
to
me
happen.
president.
Yeah.
And then I could step down as president, make you president, and I'll be dictator. We'll do this Putin-Medvedev style.
Whatever. I'm happy. I'll be your Medvedev.
That was sinisterly pronounced.
Yes. Just don't say you'll be his almond croissant.
Okay, we're going to do a few lightning. Let's see here, John. Give us a few lightning round ones.
This is very close to my heart because I apparently have a different view of this. What's the first day of the week?
Monday.
Monday.
Well, it's obviously Monday, but I know somebody who believes it's Sunday. Yeah, see?
John's wife is saying Sunday, which suggests there's a problem in the household.
It says Sunday, like on calendars. It's always on. If you read from left to right, Sunday's over here.
In
It goes
Hebrew,
like
it's
that.
Sunday.
I know, which is
Michelle.
weird that we've gotten this far in life and all the calendars are printed wrong.
Keep it going.
Am I? Okay.
What day were you born?
Okay.
What day
You're
were you
in
born?
charge.
God.
David
What
has
day-
What day were you
deputized
born?
What day was I born?
Friday.
Friday?
I don't know.
I'm Wednesday. Wednesday's child is full of woe.
Oh.
Just curious.
Oh gosh. All right. Well,
That's why I walk around like I'm carrying a cross everywhere I go. You wouldn't understand.
Steven-
I was born on a Wednesday.
I don't know what day I was born on.
Me neither.
I was born at 11 o'clock
I
in the
think I've
morning,
ever
though.
thought about it.
Yeah.
Huh.
If you had to sleep on a bed of cheese, Stephen, what cheese would you choose?
One more time, what's the beginning of that sentence?
If you had to sleep on a bed of cheese, what cheese would you choose?
Well, I think I would probably a giant ball of burrata.
Oh.
Because that would be like a waterbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that waterbeds are great.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe you really want a hard mattress and you want, like, I don't
Like,
know.
what are you talking about? Like Comte?
Well, I was thinking more like Gruyere or
Well,
something like
that's a
really.
that's a tough
Yeah,
mattress.
But maybe you want
Manchego.
Swiss so it breathes a little bit?
I don't. That
Oh,
smell of
nice.
Swiss cheese. No, I do
But
not.
dust
wanna
mites get
be
into
around that all
Swiss.
night.
Choosy cheesers choose chef.
You don't want anything too soft because the softer it is, the stinkier it gets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love burrata. It's great. But could you get? But would the
don't
burrata
wanna
be
sleep
round? Would it
on
be
it.
like a ball?
Can I just?
Well, you kind of, water beds are in that frame. And you got to jam it down in there and you'd put the sheet over the top.
Yeah.
And
I feel like it would hurt your back, honestly. Like, it sounds great, but actually it would just hurt your back.
Look, the important thing about burrata also is the water. It's very moisturizing.
Yeah, it would.
Okay.
Would you rather, David, have AI, banks, or cats as overlords in the New World Order?
AI cats? I'm sorry, AI
Would you
cats?
rather have AI, banks, or cats as overlords of the New World Order? It's kind of a parable because banks are capitalism, cats are like a monarchical, autocratic lunatic, and AI is technocratic. AI is sort of idealized technocracy. I would
AI
take.
is
I
you
would
have
take
no
banks.
idea.
I would take banks. And
Banks?
Yeah.
I totally pick cats.
Have you had a cat?
Yes, but the cats
no, I don't
won't.
really know any cats.
But the cats won't pick you.
That's true, but they could just ignore everything. Although then that's the neglect problem. What do you pick?
I don't know.
None of the above.
John, this large language model, this AI that is ruling the world, what was scraped to feed it? That's what I want to know. What was not all of human knowledge? I want to know what's it built on? What's
You
the
and me,
information
brother.
that went into it?
You and me and these two. The stuff we've written that is available. They've scraped a bunch of Slate. They've scraped your first book. They've scraped your books. They've scraped at least my second. The first one they started and they were like, "Ooh, this guy has got issues." It was too much.
Then that sounds like paradise, because we'd be ruled by our own beliefs.
Yeah.
But a lot of other people's beliefs too. And
That's what
AI
I'm saying.
is
Can
wrong.
we restrict it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, this is the good point.
AI has too much uncertainty attached to it.
But if you did Notebook LM, where you can actually feed the AI with what you want to have it,
Right.
this is the point.
Oh, that's
You can
true.
buy an off-the-shelf LLM and then feed it.
Okay, that's a
things
different.
specifically.
You would be in control. That's
Well, but
true.
it's the
I did that
world.
today.
I
It
don't
was
think
very
you get
helpful.
to. I don't think that the question allows that. The question is not like you get to have your own AI rule you. It's AI.
But
broadly.
everyone's building their own AI. There's no such thing as AI. Claude is not the same thing as
Can't the
ChatGPT.
question be whatever we decide the question
Yes.
is? Okay.
Do you guys mess with AI?
Yes.
I've never had one conversation with an AI like an agent.
Huh.
I've never. This one at the end of the table here, he's trying to get me. He's always trying to get me hooked on something.
Sometimes they're pretty helpful.
It's the only thing that understands me.
Not true.
Oh my God, Anne just said true.
No. Who decides where the dog walks? You or the dog? The dog. Yeah.
The dog, and the cute and best thing about the dog is he lets you think you decided.
I mean, for us, we decide where the dog walks, but the dog decides how the walk goes. Is this going to be is this going to be like a drag fest? Or are we going to go on a walk together? Or am I in the Iditarod without knowing it?
My dog has an idea of whether she wants to go to the park or whether she wants to go to her friend's house. And sometimes she really picks her friend's house when I don't want to go
But she
there.
picks. The dog
She
picks.
pulls really hard, but she's only 14 pounds, so actually I pick. But she tries to pick. She asserts herself.
But do you let her pick?
Sometimes I let her pick, which is probably bad.
When getting your teeth cleaned or having a dental procedure, do you keep your eyes open or closed?
Closed.
I'm not going to kiss the dentist. This is a odd decision to have to make.
I don't want to be there really, so I close my eyes in hopes that it's like happening to someone else.
Well, the drill
do you do,
bit,
John?
The drill bit in your mouth doesn't suggest that it's more closed around.
I just try.
I have two answers. The first is I keep my eyes open because I might have some advice to give them. And the second thing is I just recently had this experience, and I've never quite had a dental hygienist put their foot up against my head to get leverage. But that was
That
what
happened,
the experience.
basically?
It felt that like that. But they now have a TV up above you to so where you can watch. And so I asked them to put on Marathon Man. And
No, you did not.
Does everyone know there's like a terrifying teeth drilling scene in Marathon Man, which I have nightmares about? Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna move on. Okay, John Dickerson. If you could choose one founding father to come back today and give America advice, who would it be and why? Katie Richards asks.
there's the chance that this answer goes on till breakfast. So we're gonna shorten it. Franklin is a strong contender because of what he says. Basically, he's essentially dying, gets to the end of the Constitutional Convention, and he says, I'm going to vote for this Constitution full of flaws because the older I've gotten, the more I realize that I don't know everything. And I am going to sublimate my disagreements to the general order of this group because I think the stakes are high, essentially. And it's an amazing speech, one which I think is everybody should read. But there's a guy, Gouverneur Morris, we've talked about him before, who speaks out in the middle of the Constitutional Convention and says, how can you create a document that talks about the freedom of every man and have half the country own slaves? And he talks about it in the most powerful terms. And one of the things we deal with in history is the idea that our present morals and what we think of now don't really map onto the way they thought then. Turns out Gouverneur Morris had a contemporary sense of the rights of each individual and spoke about it at the time. And so, you know, he's a hero for speaking for the human dignity. At the moment, they were trying to write a document to ensure that. He then, though, ends up being the one who ends up essentially writing it or taking all and collaborating with all of the ideas because he shares what what I was talking about with Franklin, which is essentially the idea that there is a greater good and that you must kind of, for the greater good, take into account this larger project they were trying to do, which was to rescue the American experiment. So I think Gouverneur Morris, also because he's pretty obscure, except for the sad way in which he ended his life, which is gruesome. He did some self-surgery that caused an infection. Yeah,
Okay.
that was kind of a downer way to end that. But
Maybe you could skip that part.
yeah, I would skip. Well, if he came back, we could help him with modern medicine.
Yeah, that would be good.
Emily, so this is a question for you. If you had to add 6 new states to the Union, evenly divided between Democratic and Republican strongholds, what would they be? Christian Brady asks.
All right, so I had a couple in mind. D.C. and Puerto Rico for the Democrats. Seemed obvious. And then I think the most obvious Republican place to start is maybe dividing Texas in half and Florida, maybe. But then I turned to my children for help, who are here, I'm very proud to say. And they suggested possibly conquering some new territories, but I think that was a joke. And then we I looked up Guam and the Mariana Islands and discovered that they're not Republican reliably or Democratic reliably. So that was interesting. Maybe it would be good to have some more purple states, and so they would be a good choice for that. And then I was wondering if Staten Island would prefer to be its own state. Just wondering.
Stephen, we also got
Sir.
like a billion Tolkien questions, as you can imagine. With you and John on the show, it was a little bit like Tolkien, Palantir. But we definitely need some Tolkien. If you could bring one character or object from the works of Tolkien to attempt to address our contemporary political troubles, who or what would it be and why? Phil Goldstein, also the ever brilliant Phil Goldstein, asks.
Okay, I'll bring back a person and object because they go together. And this is book, this is not movie. It's Gandalf and his ring, because he's got one of the 3 elven rings. And I think it's Narya is what he has. Narya, Nenya, and Vilya, I think are the 3. I think he's got Narya, which he's given to by Círdan, the shipwright, when he arrives in the year 1000 of the Third Age.
Yeah.
And that is the ring of fire. And it kindles hope, and that's Gandalf's mission, is to kindle hope and to keep people from falling into despair in the face of growing darkness. So I'd say Gandalf with his ring, Narya.
I wish this ring. I wish this ring had never come to me.
Well, so do all who live to see such days. That's not for them to decide. All is for them to decide is what to do with the time that is given them. Do not be so eager to give out death and judgment.
Can you imagine a Gandalf speech before the Democratic or Republican National Convention? How would that go?
Fool of a took!
Back to your stations.
I was really hoping that you might say Tom Bombadil and then give Tom Bombadil's acceptance speech.
Hey, doll, merry doll, thank you for my nomination. No, it's got to be Gandalf. Nobody likes Bombadil. I love Bombadil, but nobody knows him from the movies. And unless you really love the books, you don't understand that he's one of the most fascinating characters. Don't get me started, because
I was hoping to get you
we'll
started.
be talking until breakfast. You're one waffle that wouldn't survive that.
All right, David, if you could pick a new historical event as the demarcation of BCE and CE, what would it be? Submitted by Jesse Strauss.
Okay. All right, so it's not, well, I'm not a Jew, so the birth of Christ is, I mean, I am a Jew, excuse me. Although barely these days. I'm not a Christian, I meant to say. So the birth of Christ is not interesting. I think it's got to be the Gutenberg Bible. It's got to be the printing press.
That's so late relative to when we now have the line, right? That's like
Yes. It would be more
1400?
recently, yes.
Yeah, okay.
We've lived, the modern era begins with Gutenberg.
The printing press.
Or
All
it could
right.
begin, or you could begin it with the atomic bomb, the capacity to destroy Earth.
I know this is lightning round in
It's
US,
not. It's
David,
actually, you
but
can do whatever
can
way.
Can I jump
Yeah.
in here?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I've actually got one.
Okay.
And it's really recent. Is that you guys know about low background steel? Some of you do. Do you guys know about low background steel? Oh, this is such a cocktail chatter. Okay, so steel, the way it's produced, one of the ways it's produced is through the Bessemer process with the Bessemer converter. And a lot of air, a lot of oxygen is blown into it, into the ore as it's being smelted before the other sort of elements are added in there to actually make the iron into steel. And what it does, it captures the background radiation that's on Earth. And before the Trinity explosion, there was one constant level of background radiation, solar radiation, universal background radiation, that got captured in steel. All steel before 1945 has one background radiation that's captured in that steel, a certain amount of cesium or deuterium or whatever it is. But after Trinity, that shit did not go away. Obviously, we all know how long the half-life that is. And all those other tests that happened over the next, it stopped by the early 80s, right? So over the next 40 years, there are all these other things. So all steel produced after 1945, anywhere in the world, under any condition, has trapped in it evidence that nuclear bombs have gone off on this planet. And if you want to make very sensitive equipment, usually having to detect radiation of some kind, you got to go tear up an old bit of rail line and carve it out of that. Or pull up a ship from the bottom of the sea and carve it out of that. Because that steel, especially from the bottom of the sea, because there's no way it got contaminated because the water acts as an insulator, you make your detecting equipment out of that because you can't make it out of steel after 1945. Well, ChatGPT was introduced, 3 years ago, publicly?
Ish.
That is the Trinity moment for knowledge on Earth. That's the Trinity explosion. And you cannot guarantee that anything published, said, written after that moment was not infected by an alien intelligence. And I've been thinking, we've got a lot of books, and I've been saying, Evie, we need to start buying like public libraries that are going out of business, so we just store them someplace. Haven't I told you this? I've been saying it a lot to myself. Because I want access to knowledge that I know was never
clean.
infected by alien intelligence. Because you cannot prove that ChatGPT or some other version, Claude, some other version of the AI that's going to rule us all was not involved in that. And so I think we're going to have a moment. And I thought I'd made up this idea. And I recently went online because I was talking to one of my producers and I said, hey, let's have somebody on to talk about this great idea I've got. And I went on and looked online. There are think pieces about it already. It already exists.
You know who wrote them? ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, exactly. There's a guy, I can't remember his name, but he's done fantastic work on this. And I think it's called lowbackground.ai is his website. And you can go on there and he talks about this problem that we're facing of the uncertainty of the origin of knowledge after the Trinity moment of AI.
So
I would say pre and post, that's a divider moment.
that was amazing. This is why you should never throw away any books. I'm just trying to make the case for
Not
my own
any
habits.
books.
Yeah.
Come on, you can throw away some books, please.
Other than-
No.
Oh, God.
All right.
When are you late to a party submitted by John Dickerson?
When are you what?
Late to a party.
Late to a party.
When are you late to a party, John?
How long is the party?
Do I have to go?
All right,
Some-
if you
some
get in
knowing
there
laughs
after,
out
you get
there.
there after, if it's a book party and you get there after the toast, you're too late.
Yeah, or after singing Happy Birthday. If it's a surprise party, it takes only a minute to be too late.
Well, I guess
actually.
clearly.
Yeah.
Although if it's your own surprise party, you're always on time.
That's true.
If the Romans have already arrested Jesus, you were really late.
Okay.
Keep going.
What's a petty hill that you are willing to die on? Stephen Colbert. This is by Bjorn Vandenberg.
Oxford comma.
Emily?
Apologies for really small things that I should be able to let go. I
You
really like an I'm sorry.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
John, what's your petty hill?
What day the week starts on?
I had this thought today, which is as I was walking up to here, Cybertrucks are cool. I think they're
That's
cool.
not a petty hill.
I think they're pretty cool. Clearly,
David would be a good dictator.
I'm the one who's most likely to
Unpopular
die
opinions.
here.
Okay. Okay.
What's cool about them? I'll bite.
They look totally different than every other vehicle out there. Like for so,
So
long,
does
we've
a
been
dumpster with wheels.
No, it reflects some kind of new weird imagination. I'm not saying that every car should look like it, but I like to see some variety in my streetscape, and they represent variety in my streetscape.
Even if it's super totalitarian looking?
I need to lie down.
John, I guess you
This
really are
information
leaving
I find overwhelming.
If you could go back in time and strangle the internet in its infancy, would you do it? David Byers. I would totally do it.
So the internet never comes to be.
I mean,
There's
it's really sad. I love the internet. It does so many things, but I feel like it is net negative for humanity in the end. I mean, 100% social media, but I think the internet, I think we were better off.
62%.
Okay.
Would you strangle the internet?
I wouldn't strangle the internet, but I would strangle social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would strangle that. In the, I would strangle that in the cradle.
But is it possible?
That's so much of the internet now is devoted to that, and as a result, I think I'd probably also destroy smartphones.
Yeah.
I think that you can't destroy social media unless you destroy the internet. Social media seems inevitable and then not worth the cost, even though I would like to keep the rest of it.
But there's another question which someone submitted, which I feel is this you guys are going to be hypocrites about, which is, would you rather not shower for a year or give up having the internet for a year?
Yeah, that was hard.
I'd give up the internet immediately.
Huh.
I love a hot shower. No, I got books. I have books, and I have your company.
No, you wouldn't have my company.
Why wouldn't I have your company?
Because where would you get my company? You'd
I
have
mean,
to physically.
You represent humans. You are a
Also-
synecdoche for my fellow human beings.
I mean, as long
Oh,
as
okay,
you still
but
have-
I thought you meant like, oh, I'd have all the podcasts I listen to, or all the TV I watch,
Hey,
or all
dude.
of that. You'd have none of that.
I don't need that.
We would mail the podcast out like old time Netflix. You get a CD in the mail.
Yeah.
The old time Netflix you had to order on the internet, dude.
No, dude, no.
You
Dude,
did.
But
Well,
there
no,
could
that
be a
may be
different way
the
to
case,
get
but
it.
you could write in you would send
It would go
a
very slowly.
send a self-addressed stamped envelope. And here's the thing about this question, though: you got to think about the community, because anybody who's not showering for a year is going to be funky. And but you'd of course give up the internet. I mean, if you're any kind of human at all.
It would be right. Collectively, we would all need to give up the internet. And once everyone gave it up to make sure that they smelled okay, then it would be much less of a loss because you wouldn't have FOMO all the time.
Also, if you could prepare, as Anne was saying on our morning walk this morning, when the dog was walking us, is you just buy like a fresh set of encyclopedias and then hang out for a year and just, yeah.
There is no fresh set of encyclopedias. They aren't made anymore. There's Wikipedia. They literally don't make encyclopedias anymore.
But they would
So
in a world in which
But you're saying, no, I'm saying, I think the question is not premised on everyone gives up the internet for a year, because obviously that would be amazing.
It's a Twilight Zone.
It's more
It's
like
just
you
you.
alone give up the Stephen took the question correctly, which is like, he's like, I'll give it up and I'll just read my books. That's fine. But
Okay.
you guys are saying, no,
No, that's fine.
everyone's
Well,
giving it up.
no,
That-
Keep being
That's
really
fine.
like
That's fine. I'll-
deciding the questions have to be a certain
Well, he's a
way.
dictator.
In a
What the fuck else is he
dictatorial
gonna do?
manner. Just saying.
I think that it's fine. I can read my books. I mean,
Okay,
at the end of
John.
the year, you might be reading the third biography of Martin Van Buren, but that's all right.
John, you get to go back in time and attend one concert, theatrical performance, or sporting event of your choice, submitted by Alan Dibner. Which one do you pick?
The Last Waltz, Thanksgiving 1976. This is the band played their last concert. Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, Bob Dylan, Muddy Waters, Dr. John, Neil Diamond.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Mavis Staples.
Ronnie Hawkins, Mavis Staples. Who? Yeah, I mentioned.
Got her.
Awesome.
Yes.
Van Morrison. I'd forgotten that Van Morrison.
Wow.
Yeah,
All
well,
right.
I wasn't there.
Stephen?
He stole it.
Emily?
First production of Hamlet. Must have been cool.
Nice.
Yeah. I would say that, or I'd like to see the original Olympics. I would have liked as a sporting event.
Oh yeah,
That would have been fun.
that's a great one.
Do you think if you went to the original Olympics, you'd be like, man, they're so slow?
You totally would be.
Do you think if you saw the original Hamlet, you'd understand it? Like, would the accent throw you, or is it?
Huh.
What would that have sounded like?
That's a really good question. I guess I hope that as an English speaker, I would be able to figure it out. I picked something in my native language. Do you think that you could actually compete in the first Olympics? Maybe I don't know. Like, how far did they throw the
Well,
discus
in
and
the
shot
first
put?
modern Olympics, they had like poetry competitions.
Right.
Yeah. And didn't someone win the marathon with like an old pair of sneakers he found in the garbage or something? I feel like that's
That was the
thing.
first woman who ran marathon.
There
It
you
was
go.
in an old, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think if you like recited the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock at the original Olympics, would they be like, what's this guy talking about? Or would they
Definitely.
immediately recognize, wow, if he ate a peach, I see.
That's like
Trousers.
20 years too early, isn't it? The first Olympics are the end of the 19th century, and Prufrock is 22,
Wait, no,
right?
I meant the original Olympics like in ancient Greece.
Oh, I'd rub myself with olive oil and
Yeah.
wrestle you,
Yeah.
David.
It'd be great.
Naked in a sand pit? Sure.
Yeah. Sounds awesome.
Okay.
Does this go into the question about if you could replace somebody for 24 hours?
Sure,
Who
go
would
ahead.
it be? So Stephen, if you could slip into the body of a person for 24 hours, who would it be? What would it? Yeah, who would it be?
They're currently living on Earth?
No,
Or-
let's just say
Could be anyone.
anyone, anytime.
Open it up, this one.
I mean, it's such a predictable answer for me. But I would slip inside the skin of our president and I would resign.
So, I've anticipated this. Emily.
No scandal, no confession, no Sturm und Drang. Just go, it's been great. I'm the best ever. I'm going to go out on top. I've done
done.
everything. I'm
all.
just gonna go. That's it. It can be glorious ending. I just end it.
I was shaving this morning and anticipated that this might be your answer. And so my question to you, Emily, is given the controversy over the use of the signing pen, would a 24-hour Stephen Colbert inhabiting the body of Donald Trump be considered legally binding as a resignation?
I think that would be a problem. I feel like there would be a challenge to Stephen's capabilities if people knew that he had taken over the body of the president. But maybe nobody knows. Maybe you're just getting to be Invasion of the Body Snatchers and it's a secret.
I have a harrowing follow-up question. Is he taking over my body for those 24 hours?
Run for
Darling, go see your sister for a while.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, darling, there are some things you must do for your country.
Wow.
David, what's your answer?
No, I can't follow that.
Emily? I thought you guys would have great answers.
I was gonna go for like Beyonce, something really fun.
Yeah.
Not saving the world, just like
I would-
singing a good song, dancing a good dance.
I saw Mark Knopfler playing at the end of Sultans of Swing, and the easy way with which he played the guitar, I thought that'd be amazing. But then I thought, childbirth. I cannot experience that.
That's
What?
so cool. What a great
Childbirth?
answer, John. I love that.
Childbirth?
Yeah, just
I get it.
having a
even
baby.
tried,
I think
John.
that's awesome. No, it's not. That's mean. I feel like is not performative. I
It is
am moved by your
performative. He's
answer.
being a performative feminist.
No, he said
This-
it sincerely.
I would like to call as a witness the gentlelady from Knoxville, Tennessee, who was there when this came out in conversation. It was not performative.
It's not performative. Yeah.
Boom.
And testifies.
Wait,
She testifies. She's
Vouches.
witnessing for the prosecution.
I think that's a great answer. I love that answer. Yeah. The crowd also likes the answer.
of course they like it. John's like,
Here's the
oh,
thing, you won't remember what it was like.
look how I've impressed my wife.
Dictators get very antsy when you challenge them.
Exactly.
Okay, you get to shake up American tipping culture, Emily, so that you get to give a tip for a service that previously has not been tipped for. What would you do?
I really had trouble with this because I find giving tips so awkward, but I think they're really important, and I really wasn't sure what to do with this at all. And then I came up with just like going to an event, like going to the zoo, going to a theater, like maybe every time you buy a ticket, you should have to pay a tip, but then that just seemed terrible. And honestly, I just did not have a good answer.
I love the idea of tipping at the zoo. Here's a little something for the pandas. That was real good. That was real. You guys did a real good job.
Yeah.
The way you
Yeah.
ate that bamboo, beautiful.
Yeah.
I think you'd give him an
Mr.
overripe banana. I
Another
got an extra
banana.
banana here.
Yes, Mr. Elephant, we're not just going to pay you in peanuts.
David, you must have a good answer for this.
I actually thought about this, and I was like, well, given that you can now tip digitally, what about, you know how one of the most satisfying things in life is when you get a customer service person on the phone who's incredibly helpful?
That's a great
And they like
answer.
save your ass. Like if you could tip them.
That
That's
is great. Yes.
Okay. Do you have these, Stephen? You can look at, by the way. Yeah,
sure.
if you want.
I
if you
was
want to.
being passive.
Okay.
I was being passive.
John, if you were cornered.
What page you on? Sorry.
Page good ones we should try to get to.
Got it.
There are
got
two
it, got
pages
it.
of that.
Got it.
John, if you could commit a heist of a museum, a la Louvre, what museum would it be and why, and what kind of gang would you assemble to commit the heist?
I should have.
I feel that you could broaden from a museum and just anywhere where you want to steal the stuff inside.
Huh. That doesn't make it any easier.
Okay.
I need a limiting condition. Prince's guitar is at the the American History Museum in
Okay.
Washington.
That's a
I
good
would
answer.
like that guitar.
Prince's guitar?
Prince's guitar is there.
The one
Now-
with the big
Yeah.
piece of
that he actually played on stage and so it's not just so it's a real guitar. And what kind of gang would I assemble? I would assemble a film crew and I would go down there like I was shooting a. Right by it is the room in which one of the early inventors of some, I think maybe Pong. Anyway, his room, like it's a room. So I would pretend that we were doing the Sunday morning piece about that little room, which is adjacent to the room in which the guitar is. I've thought about this. And that would be the diversion. And I don't know how I would sneak it out because it's rather hard to trundle out. You know, it's not. The Mona Lisa was trundled out in the guy's in his work clothes. I don't know how
Maybe
you
you would
did
have to wrap it up in something really quickly. Because if you tried to move it without wrapping it in something soft, you would
Sure.
worry about damaging it.
Yes, but then you'd be carrying a big thing. Like it's not like a sandwich.
No,
it's
it's
huge.
true. It's not the most subtle thing to steal. What are
yeah,
you
I don't have
stealing?
the final part worked out.
What would you steal?
I have no interest in stealing things, David. What would I steal? I mean, here's the thing. What I like about heists is not what they steal. I like that the heist happened because it's very romantic and it's kind of sexy and it's international and it has to happen in Europe. I wouldn't steal anything in the United States because all the best museums to
Old
steal
stuff.
from, it's got to be really old stuff. You know, I want to steal like the Codex of Hammurabi or something like that. Something really old, you know, I'd like to steal the oldest piece of the New Testament we have. Do you know what it says? The oldest scrap of New Testament in existence, found in the Egyptian desert on old papyrus. And Pilate said, "What is truth?"
Oh,
That's
Isn't
great.
that great?
Where is that? Is it in?
It's in a museum in Egypt.
So you'd steal from Egypt. I think you should steal something from the Vatican.
There's a lot
No,
of
I'm
really
a Catholic.
nice
I can
stuff
just
there.
check it out.
You get borrowing privileges?
I get
You
borrowing
could, like,
privileges.
cut
I'm a
part
famous
of
Catholic.
the
What?
something, part of something out of the Sistine Chapel, like tap it out. That would be an amazing heist. Taking out part
Like
of
take
the
out like
mural.
a face from the Sistine
Yeah.
Chapel?
Yeah, like Adam and David.
But
I
you'd
mean, Adam and
ultimately
God.
like
No.
destroy it while you did it.
Yeah, that would be bad. But I mean, really,
Everyone would remember that one if you like cut out. a
Oh, you
part
know what I would
of the-
take? I would take St. Peter's chair from the Vatican because they stylized this chair that's up behind the Baldacchino as the actual chair of St. Peter, the first bishop of Rome. And when the Pope is infallible, he speaks ex cathedra from the chair. So I would just keep that fucker around in case I was having an argument with anybody. I would say, I'm going to get the fucking chair right now. I'd haul it out and sit down and go, I'm sorry, what was your argument?
Yes, I have spoken. David, if you could create a museum for anything, what would it be?
A museum for anything. Wait, but is this the question here? Or
Yes, the question here.
The question here is it's like sort of it's things that are.
No, it can be any a random thing. Like, in other words, not what museums are normally constituted for.
Okay, well, I think I love people telling stories about the best night of their life. So I would have a museum of the best night of everyone's life.
That is so good.
I don't know how it would exist. It would like be videos and like broken bottles.
What would be your submission to the museum, David?
Oh, I need to think about that. Give me a minute.
Wow, I know exactly what mine would be.
What would yours be?
Tell us.
What was the date, dear? There is, sorry, Bryce, our son's here too. There is some portion of the evening that we don't remember.
Part of its charm.
Sure.
I've got one. I haven't asked one yet. Can old dogs learn new tricks? That is to say, can people really change something fundamental about themselves once they've reached a certain age? And what does it take to change? That is Phil Goldstein. And have you changed in anything?
I think they can, but it's really, really hard and doesn't happen very much. And I'm not sure I can do it. But I think people can do it.
I totally think so. I feel like this is very self-involved. I think it happened to me when my marriage fell apart, and I think it totally changed how I interacted with friends. It changed how I think I was I'm a pretty smug person now, but
No.
you can't even imagine how smug I was.
Well, the show is 20 years old.
I mean, so I do think I did feel that happen to me when I got divorced, but it was something that was wrenched upon me, and therefore that's what happened. I would never have done it myself.
You adapted amazingly well. It was profound.
It's a model for human adaptation.
But okay, all right, enough. Do you ask the question? Do you think?
I hope so. I really do. Because I'm about to change. I've been doing the same thing for 21 years. Not the same thing. Colbert Report's totally different than The Late Show, even though people think that they're related. They're actually almost entirely not related, other than the fact there's a camera pointed at me. And I really want to take this next period of time after the show's over to learn something that I didn't know before, to do something I had never done before.
Do you know what it is?
Yes.
Do you want to say or no?
I do not want to say what that is.
Ooh, this is exciting.
Well, how about the two of you? The two of you you are also unemployed from CBS. By the way, are you an employee? Do you guys are you on the 401k and stuff?
No, I definitely am not, because I'm under CBS Studios, so I'm not really a corporate employee. I don't know what you guys are. I'm not a corporate employee. I'm like a loan out.
Yeah, I had my outboarding conversation, and essentially what it is there's a door, and you open the door, and the sands of Arabia are arrayed before you. Everything he said, but just make it a week from now.
You guys should do something together.
I think that's a great idea.
I think it's a Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
We're going to find the headwaters of the Amazon.
The world is waiting.
Let's do a couple more and then
Good.
bring us home.
If you were cornered in the woods by a small group of people who wished you harm, and you could call upon the aid of an animal to help you fight them off, you and the animal are telepathically linked. Which animal is on your phone a friend's speed dial?
Is it physical harm or psychological harm?
It's physical harm. Well, you could decide. You can pick. I'll be the benevolent dictator about the question.
Well, I'll think about that. Ask someone else.
Is it a small group of people or a group of small people?
Small group of people. But again, you can change the question.
So less than a dozen.
I might answer the
less
question.
than a dozen, I'm going to say. Oh, a bear.
But, okay, I
A
also
bear.
thought that, but I want a particular bear. I want the armored bear in the Golden Compass.
Well, wait, that's cheating.
Why?
That's a magical bear.
Yes, I mean, right. It's a magical bear.
Well, yeah, it didn't say that I can't have a magical bear.
Okay. I just thought implicit in the question is not magical.
I thought having a particular bear in mind
Sure.
seemed like an advantage.
I'll take the Vorpal rabbit from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
That's
We-
good.
My girlfriend and I just went to South Africa and we saw all these animals hunting. We saw a pack of wild dogs hunting, and I would not. Those guys are terrifying.
Even if you were telepathically communicating and they were on your
No,
side?
they're on my side.
Yeah, so you would want those.
I wouldn't want wild dogs. They would scatter
Destroy.
anybody who's trying to cause me distress.
Okay.
Adjacent to that is the hyena, also vicious.
Yeah, but hyenas aren't great hunters, and they're great scavengers. They're not
Oh.
as good as the wild dogs are. Just
okay.
will fuck you up.
All right.
Okay.
Noted.
All right, one more question. Steven, get a question. John, get a question. Then we'll.
I'm reading. I'm
Wow.
reading.
Oh, yeah, we have our
All right, of all the people alive today, who will be the most well known in 500 years?
Elon, if because of him if we're still alive in 500 years because of his work.
I think Xi Jinping.
Huh.
Oh.
Taylor Swift?
Do you think that Taylor Swift, actually, let's ask the musicians here, do you guys think that Taylor Swift will be like, people know Taylor Swift songs the way they like know Mozart tunes, like that we know Twinkle Twinkle Little Star?
Don't we
Well, I
have
don't know
to
about Mozart, but I think they'll know them like Beatles songs.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure. We don't know if Beatles last pass the Mozart test.
Right.
You know, I think they would, but I don't know if they will. But I think she'll pass the Beatles test, so that 60 years after she hits the scene, she's already 20 years after she hit the scene.
Yeah.
You know, and she's still going to produce. She's young, and she's such a hard worker, and she clearly loves it, and she's good to the people she works with. Like, she's not going anywhere. There's going to be another 20 year at least of output from her. And then she only has to get 20 more years to be as good as to last as long as the Beatles.
But do you think she's in a century? People are listening to Taylor Swift.
Some of it, they'll hear some
They'll
of it.
know
Like
it. People will
you
know it.
You know stuff from 1900. You do. You know, like ragtime songs and
the
stuff like
Battle Hymn of the
that.
Republic or
Right.
something.
Battle Hymn of the
True.
Republic's older than that.
Nursery rhymes.
Nursery rhymes. I like that.
What new or uncommon phase of life should become standard? This is submitted by Brian, who
Would you
like
repeat
to-
the question, please, John?
Yes. What new or uncommon phase of life should become standard? This was submitted by Brian, no last name, which he would like to become the new standard.
I think there's a phase of life that people have when they have young kids it's like a cloud, it's like a fog.
Totally
From
overwhelmed.
zero, the time your first kid is born till the time your last kid is like 12, and you're just not, like you work, you do things, you probably go on vacation, like you talk, you have conversations, but it's all like a mess and a fog, and you call it like the years of fog or the
Sleep
muddle age
deprivation.
or something.
Yeah, muddled is good. That's
I
good.
like muddle age. That's nice.
Muddled
And I
age.
think people in that area, in that period of time, should be given extreme latitude.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like
They're
maybe
so-
even like you get 3 crimes. you're allowed to commit.
Major
Like
or
one
minor?
violent, one financial,
One heist.
one heist, exactly.
And one,
like
yeah,
that.
that's a heist in Europe. Yeah. One of the greatest things David did when he was the editor of Slate was to force us all to do these things he called frescas, because his favorite drink is a fresca, and it was a month where you had to go write about something that was not on your beat, which I successfully did once and then did something that was totally on my beat. But that thing became then a book. It was the greatest thing. He really was insistent about that, and it freshened your thinking. It was like a month where wherever you are in your career, you have to just, and society
How about a year?
allows
Like, the sabbatical period, the sabbatical age.
a year sounds great to me.
Yeah.
Sabbatical.
Talk to me on Friday. Yeah, I like that.
How long do you think it will be before you have like a new thing?
You've known me for a long time. How long do I go without needing to be doing something?
Not very long.
Yeah, so I hope that I can hijack that and put it towards something that would be meaningful. So I don't know.
How long do you think before you have a new thing?
I mean,
you
I'm-
don't, you don't
I'm
have to answer. Don't answer that. Don't answer.
I probably can't go a day without thinking, what should I be doing? I mean, because it's just the pace at which I've been going for 21 years. And before that, working for John over the Daily, the pace of work is just so high that even like not getting, I don't know, when's the last time I didn't do something associated with work, like on a daily basis for 21 years at least now. So it'll be hard for me to unwind. I'm going to give it a shot.
We're done with this. Thank you so much.
Well, now that the smoke is cleared from Donald Trump's Christmas, we have our first Christmas Day temporary restraining order issued against the Trump administration for going after people related to hate speech. No, not people who are conducting hate speech like Elon Musk and Donald Trump, people that are in the anti-hate speech business like Imran Ahmed, who is the founder of the Center for Countering Digital Hate, not generating it. And he is a green card holder, but he's one of the 5 people on the list from just several days ago. The State Department issued that they're going to revoke and punish and censor these people and get them out of the country and deny them visas and to deport them. Well, thankfully, Imran Ahmed found a great lawyer in Robbie Kaplan, who's been on Legal AF in the past. And Robbie's firm, her firm, had filed an immediate complaint on Christmas Eve and obtained a Christmas Day injunction from Judge Broderick in the Southern District of New York that lasts until the 29th of December, where the judge will pull everybody together and talk about that injunction. What's this all about? Elon Musk, of course. Elon Musk's X platform has been sanctioned by the European Union. And in the European Union sanctioning that entity for hate speech platforming to the tune of over $120 million US. As a result, the Trump administration fired back at the EU and its digital online regulations, and particularly as a direct retaliatory strike against Musk's company getting fined. They banned these 5 visa holders, including Imran Ahmed. I'm going to read to you from it, from the complaint that lays the timeline out perfectly, and you'll understand that this is cause and effect. And then you've got the trolling by the Trump administration, including the Undersecretary of State, Sarah Rogers, somebody I wish I never heard about, who, by the way, Miss Rogers, Merry Holidays, you don't have immunity, if you know what I mean. Let's go into the complaint that was filed, and let me read to you from it so you understand what's going on. Now, the Center for Countering Digital Hate runs campaigns to stop digital hate. It goes against anti-Semitism, racism, bigotry, against misogyny, all the things Donald Trump's in favor of. Let's just say that. If you're against the Center for Countering Digital Hate, you are for digital hate. There's no other way to do it. Now, Imran Ahmed, who is connected to the Starmer administration in the UK, because the chief of staff for Starmer was on the board of the CCDH. It's a proud place to be when you're in the UK. And she's currently Starmer's chief of staff. She got trolled, I'll get to that in a minute, by Sarah Rogers, Under Secretary of State. I mean, it's under something, in which they said, hey, Morgan McSweeney, which is the person that was on the board, Merry Christmas. And the other people who are the target of these activities, and I'm sure will be filing their own lawsuits very, very soon. Let me tell you who else is involved there, who's been a product of this targeting. Give me 1 second here. You've got Josephine Ballon and Anna-Lena von Hodenberg from Germany, who run an organization called Hate Aid. Again, anti-hate speech. And you've got Claire Melford of the Global Disinformation Index, along with a former EU commissioner, Thierry Breton. They're all now on Donald Trump's naughty list, and that's why these lawsuits are popping up. Let me read to you from, did I mention I'm Michael Popok and you're on 1 day plus one Christmas morning in America on Legal AF? Take a moment, hit that free subscribe button. We'll continue to follow these types of cases for you. According to the complaint, on December 23rd, Christmas Eve, the Trump administration announced that it would move to deport plaintiff Imran Ahmed. This is on page 2 of the complaint, an advocate for human rights and civil liberties online, and a British legal permanent resident of the U.S. who has lived and worked here for 5 years with his American wife and child. Rather than disguise its retaliatory motive, the federal government was clear that Mr. Ahmed was being, all caps, sanctioned. That's direct from Sarah Rogers' social media post, as punishment for the research and public reporting carried out by the CCDH, which studies the content moderation policies of major social media companies like Elon Musk's X. Elon Musk sued Imran Ahmed last year for defamation and for other allegations, and that case was tossed on its ass, thrown out of court by Senior Judge Charles Breyer in San Francisco, who said it was one of the worst lawsuit filings he had ever seen and clearly violated the Anti-SLAPP Act, which is strategic litigation against public participation, meaning you file a lawsuit in order to chill somebody's First Amendment speech. Sarah Rogers posted on X on the 23rd, 24th that they had sanctioned Imran Ahmed for his work at the CCDH. Secretary Rogers tied these decisions to the fact that, citing that the CCDH had publicly reported on the proliferation of anti-vax misinformation on social media and supported the United Kingdom's Online Safety Act, their laws. It goes on to say that this attack on Mr. Ahmed is, paragraph 4, forms a part of a larger pattern of attempted repression of constitutionally protected speech. Let me take time out there. You don't have to be an American citizen to have a First Amendment protected speech when you're in America. I mean, frankly, even illegal migrants have a First Amendment right while they're on U.S. soil. So just to be clear, Americans, green card holders, visitors, tourists, you have a First Amendment right while you're in the country. Of course, this has been completely abused by Donald Trump, who has been trying to, according to the complaint, use its immigration enforcement power as a bludgeon to silence voices and prevent disfavored speech. Now, let's go particularly to the timeline to show the linkages between the center going after Elon Musk the $140 billion U.S. fine against it and the response by the Trump administration. On December 4th, it's on page 12 of the complaint, which I'm posting on Legal AF Substack for our paid members. By the way, 30% off till the end of the year on paid membership. On December 4th, 2025, the European Commission issued a fine of 120 million euros against Musk, for violations of their laws governing transparency, accessibility, and deceptive practices. The ruling drew a strong reaction from the Trump administration, paragraph 34 says, with President Trump describing it as nasty and that it's going in bad directions. Secretary of State Marco Rubio posted to social media that it was an attack on all American tech platforms and the government by and American people by foreign government, and that the days of censoring Americans online are over. That was on the 5th of December, got 24 million views. And then he issued a press release on the 23rd, Marco Rubio did, in which they are taking visa action. They're taking decisive action against 5 individuals to either get them out of the country or to deny them their visas. They announced that as I said, on the 23rd. On the 23rd, also Sarah Rogers, this is reprinted on page 15, said, "We've sanctioned Imran Ahmed." This is the plaintiff in the case, key collaborator with the Biden administration's efforts to weaponize the government against U.S. citizens, the Center for Countering Digital Hate. How does she even type these words? We're against anti-hate groups, anti-hate speech groups. Created the infamous Disinformation Dozen report, which called for platforms to deplatform 12 American anti-vaxxers. Sounds like a good idea, including Secretary Kennedy. Leaked documents show the organization lists kill Musk Twitter and trigger EU and UK regulatory actions as priorities. Okay, I'm sure that's true. Then she posts back to trolling our allies. I don't know if this is a good thing. I thought this is like a long lost episode of that show on Netflix, The Diplomat. We're now trolling the UK. So Sarah Rogers, they all look like this, by the way. You know what I'm talking about? All these press secretaries and all these undersecretaries, they look like Sarah Rogers. See where I'm going? She posts a thing that says, "Hey, McSweeney." That's the connection between Imran Ahmed and the UK government of Keir Starmer, because that person's the chief of staff. Merry Christmas. And then, of course, Elon Musk loves it. On page 17, they write, because he was unsuccessful in his lawsuit, and he says, "This is so great." So now we're doing the bidding for Elon Musk all over again and showing the pattern. So count 1 of the case is First Amendment viewpoint-based discrimination, prior restraint. Count 2 is violation of due process clause, the 5th Amendment. They're taking away his right, his visa, his green card, or trying to, without due process. It's also a violation of the Administrative Procedures Act and of the non-delegation doctrine. And then they're asking for this emergency injunction and a permanent injunction down the road. I'm going to try to get Robbie Kaplan. It may not be the right time, probably after the permanent injunction goes in place, to come on the show and brief our audience. She's briefed our audience before about E. Jean Carroll and other things. But I'm glad you're here on Friday, the 26th. This is important work that we're doing. It doesn't stop. The holiday, we don't take a holiday. Justice doesn't take a holiday, and therefore we're not going to either. Help us continue to grow and get to our next 2 million milestone subscriber base, all for free. Hit the free subscribe button. Come over to Legal AF Substack for the new year. I'm running a New Year's sale from now until the end of the year, 30% off. It makes it about $6.50 a month for some amazing content, including all the documents we're talking about here. So until my next report, I'm Michael Popak. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. come over now to free subscribe.
This is going to come back to you.
Tribunals are coming.
This is going to come back to you.
Tribunals are coming.
You're domestic terrorists! Donald Trump is propelling the United States of America to have its wokest era yet.
I truly don't think that conservatives comprehend yet just how intense the backlash is going to be when the Trump era finally comes to an end. Because the extent to which this regime has destroyed the country cannot be overstated, and it is leading to unfathomable levels of anger and a desire for retribution among everybody else. Like, Trump had his retribution, and now everybody else wants their retribution. And I'm not just talking about woke extremist lefties. I'm talking about normie Americans who've become radicalized in response to the rise of fascism. And this sentiment is really starting to bubble up to the surface, to the point where people are taking notice of how even liberal wine mom types are noticeably more ruthless. And memes like this speak to what we're all seeing. Cringe Maoist LARPer. Have you considered the economic anxiety of those poor Trump voters? Nicole, suburban mom and successful corporate lawyer. Every Republican alive is an affront to God. And there's also variations of this meme where liberal wine moms who were once saying when they go low, we go high are now calling for the streets to turn red from the blood of the bourgeoisie tyrants. And these memes are obviously hyperbolic, but there's a kernel of truth in them. We've all seen this. Jennifer Walsh, who's kind of viewed as the prototypical liberal wine mom, has sparked outrage on the right, specifically because of her hilariously vicious rants towards Trump supporters and how they should take their fat asses to Cracker Barrel instead of a Mexican restaurant, because they shouldn't be able to enjoy the benefits of multiculturalism if they're voting against it. And the reason why she's blowing up online, aside from her sheer talent, is because she's relatable in the sense that we can all see our own moms and aunties in her. Just speaking anecdotally, one of the nicest, most loving women I have ever known just randomly dropped a "I hope he dies" when Trump's name came up. And it caught me off guard. It was so funny because this is not characteristic of her. Like, for her to say something like this is crazy to me, but it just really speaks to the frustration and hopelessness that regular people like her are feeling as she watches the country that she loves get burned to the fucking ground by fascist extremists. And I played this clip on the show before, but just look at the savage responses liberal women gave to right-wing pant shitter Caitlin Bennett.
Charlie Kirk is horrible?
Yes, I'm glad he's not here.
You're glad he's dead?
Yes.
Why would you say something like that, ma'am?
Because he was horrible on the campuses, the college campuses. Horrible person.
You know what? I do the exact same thing.
Well,
would you be glad if I would die?
Maybe. I'd have to think about it.
What, if she would die?
I don't know.
Excuse me?
No, I don't know you, but I didn't know him either. But he was not a good person.
He would go to college campuses?
And
he would go to...
think he got shot because he wasn't a good person.
That is disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
You know what? You want me to not call him Hitler? You want me to say he's
Your
not
friend just said she'd be happy if I died.
I think we need to...
Bro, you can't tell me that they'd be this ruthless if the country didn't get taken over by fascists. And Kyle Kulinski said it best when he talked about this clip. He said that these are your grandmothers. And he's right. Like, these are the nice ladies who always have granola bars in their purses that they're willing to share. They're the kind of people who are always there for you to watch your kids or offer you a shoulder to cry on. And the fact that they're talking like this, the fact that they're talking like lefty shit posters on Twitter, speaks to the anger that Trump's regime is creating. And I can assure conservatives that the backlash to what's happening now will indeed be immense. But despite what that lady said, I don't actually think that she wants violence. In the extended clip, she admitted that maybe she was saying what she was saying because she was mad and didn't really mean it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that there's still not going to be consequences for what's happening, because one thing's for sure, the days of when they go low, we go high are over. And I don't even think that Democrats comprehend just how angry their base is. And in a clip from a recent episode of the Dangerous Ones podcast, they made their expectations for Democrats running in 2028 very, very clear.
Whoever runs for the Democratic nomination, I want them to punish the other side, not just come into office and be like, well, you know, no. And I remember Lincoln after the Civil War, everybody wanted Lincoln to punish the South for what had happened. He didn't live long enough to do that, but he also didn't want to do that. Yeah. I disagree with that now. Whoever comes into office should not only fix every goddamn thing that has just happened, but I think there should be some punishment involved.
I think that there has to be, because one of the things that's breaking in this country is rule of law.
Right.
Getting back to what America is meant to be, a land that's governed through justice, requires that people be held accountable for shit that they did during this time period.
And it's going to be a heavy hand that comes down.
Yeah. So
it better be.
Because I'm not voting for a Democratic nominee who isn't saying, when I get in office, not only am I going to fix this, but there's going to be consequences.
Yes.
You know?
And I need them to embrace where we are and this little, well, we're going to form a committee and look into it. No, we're not.
No, we're not.
No, I think the days of that are over.
And I'm curious what you guys think at home, too. You remember in the 40s with the Nazis, and then after the war was over, they went and found them all and put them on trial. And all those Nazis tried to claim, hey, I was just following orders. I say, I'm here to tell you right now, you fucking ICE agents that are doing this shit, this is going to come back to you. The internet will find you. And you will be exposed. You know, I mean, don't think this is going away. You treating people like that when you know it's illegal, going, oh, just following orders. No. We're gonna find out who you are.
I hope you fuckers are getting disowned by your families right and left.
Yeah.
The tribunals are coming.
Yeah. There has to be accountability. Otherwise, history will repeat itself. Democrat after Democrat after Democrat has failed to hold Republicans accountable, and we're now having to live with the consequences of their inaction. Ford pardoned Nixon. Obama didn't prosecute the Bush war criminals because he wanted to look forward and not back. Merrick Garland dragged his fucking feet on Trump's prosecution, and the rest is history. History that we're very much living through right now, mind you. The days of just letting things go are over. And I don't think that the base is going to accept more mealy-mouthed bullshit from Democrats, especially now, because if Republicans can get away with all of this, they can literally get away with anything. You can't have a country where elites can violate laws and the Constitution with impunity. And it's not just about accountability and justice, it's also about revenge, quite frankly. Conservatives who voted for this, they need to feel the same anger and frustration and desperation that we're all feeling after putting us through all of this. And everything that they're doing to all of us now should come back to them tenfold. And I think that this socialist TikToker put it best in this amazing rant that he made after Mamdani won.
Hey, are you dirty MAGA fucks starting to realize that you've been the screaming minority, not the silent majority? Are you starting to realize that the socialist victory in New York City is just the beginning and we're coming for the fucking Oval Office? This goes out to the Democrat Party too. You're either gonna bend the knee and accept socialism or you're gonna get fucking trampled on in every single election. This is the people's fucking movement. We make the goddamn rules. You fucking work for us. And to all of you inbred hicks that support Donald Trump and his fascist regime, I hope you know you're gonna have to pretend that you never supported it in the first place. Because when we get the Oval, we are reversing every single thing that Donald Trump did. We are rounding up every single ICE agent and putting them on a tribunal. 85% or more of you dirty fucking mass Gestapo deputized white supremacist Proud Boy Nazi fucks is gonna spend the rest of your days in a goddamn prison labor camp. We're gonna milk you for fucking work, bitch. And you're gonna bite the bullet, you're gonna smell the fucking roses, and all of you red hat wearing, plankton bucket hat wearing motherfuckers are gonna have to cope, mauled, and seethe. Because woke Sharia is here, bitch. We don't give a fuck about your opinions. You have proven to the entire public that your opinions, your takes, your wants are bad for society and they will be ignored. Not only will they be ignored, we will be taking everything you want and getting the fucking inverse. You dumb motherfuckers. You think this is a Christian nation? This is a secular nation, bitch. You bitch and moan about, oh, Zohran Mamdani's gonna bring Sharia law to New York City. You want Christian Sharia, you're white boy jihadists demanding fucking Christian theocratic fascism. You are everything that you accuse the fucking left of being. You're domestic terrorists!
Incredible. Just incredible. And after decades of fear-mongering about socialism, Republicans inadvertently willed it into existence because after giving us the purest, most ruthless form of late-stage capitalism and telling us that this is the best economic system in the history of mankind, well, they've created millions and millions of people who are being radicalized just out of sheer desperation. They're seeing the game that's being played. They're watching elites deliberately pit working class people against each other in order to get us to fight each other while they rob us all blind. And if you focus on the wrong 1% and think that immigrants and trans people are the cause of all of your problems, you're not going to realize how badly you're getting fucked by the ruling class. But thankfully, so many people are waking up to the reality that the American dream was a lie that elites sold to us to trick us into supporting a system that exclusively benefited them. But I mean, the jig is up. And nobody's buying it anymore. Hence why you see the rise in popularity for socialism, even among liberal wine mom types like Jennifer Walsh, again, who was once a Hillary Clinton supporter who became a socialist, who identifies as a democratic socialist. But you have to understand that she's not alone. Like, she's not this isolated instance. This radicalization is not happening in a vacuum. People in droves are starting to wake up. This notion that we should tolerate the existence of billionaires because we could become billionaires one day ourselves is laughable to everybody with a brain. And more people are starting to attack this delusion head on, which is another sign that Americans are really starting to wake up.
Serious fucking question. Why do so many people in this country have such a fucking hard-on for billionaires? Oh, the ACA was unsuccessful. Yeah, because billionaires are fucking greedy. Oh, grocery prices, everything is sky high. Yeah, because fucking billionaires are greedy. Oh, Zohran Mamdani, he's gonna do terrible things to New York because all the billionaires will leave. Fuck those billionaires. Fuck them with a 10-foot pole. In fact, fuck them with a redwood tree because at least one billionaire is walking around this country happier than a pig and shit. So happy, in fact, that she's at least a little bit charitable. Is it because you have some fucking crazy idea that the American dream is gonna come knocking on your door? Because it's not. Because your Lord and Savior fucking Ronald Reagan killed the American dream with trickle-down economics. In fact, I made a list of all the things that are more likely to happen to you than becoming a billionaire in the United States of America in 2025. Being struck by lightning. You have 40 times more likelihood of being struck by fucking lightning than you do becoming a billionaire. Being killed by a shark, 7 times more likely. Winning an Oscar. Winning an Olympic medal, 50 times more likely to win an Olympic medal than you have at becoming a billionaire. Becoming a pro athlete, dying in a plane crash, finding a pearl in the oysters that you're eating. You know, that way you can fucking clutch them. Being born with albinism. All these things more likely than becoming a fucking billionaire in 2025. Some of you just love being fucking teabagged by the billionaires every goddamn minute of every fucking day in every aspect of your life. Like, what the fuck?
Bars. And I am so glad that people are coming to the realization that everything wrong with our system is the direct result of the ruling class. They have completely captured our government by buying politicians and elections and then rigging the rules to make themselves even richer. And as we're all getting fucked by them, they tell us that this is the best economic system ever. Sounds legit. And meanwhile, they're hysterical about the rising popularity of socialism while not realizing that they're the ones making socialism popular. If people like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg save just a few crumbs for us, maybe people might be inclined to support this system a little bit longer. But since these people were so greedy and took everything from the rest of us, they have nobody to blame but themselves for the rise in anti-capitalist sentiment. You can only keep people distracted from the fact that they're hungry for so long until they bust out the pitchforks. And they're starting to get to that point because decades and decades of neoliberalism has facilitated the rise of fascism that culminated in this moment that we're in right now, where people are hungry, angry, and they fucking want revenge. And some fascists are already sensing that this is indeed the case, like Steve Bannon, who recently admitted this.
If we lose the midterms and we lose 2028, some in this room are going to prison, myself included. They're not going to stop. They are getting more and more and more radical.
And I don't think he's wrong. With all the laws that Trump and Elon Musk and Stephen Miller and Pete Hegseth and Kristi Noem have broken, I don't know if the country can survive or if anything will ever matter again if they aren't prosecuted for their crimes against humanity. But even though the Democratic Party base may want that, I don't know if Democratic politicians have the spines to actually prosecute these criminals. But, you know, if they don't, there's going to be hell to pay for them too, because the backlash is coming. And as this TikToker put it, the wokest era ever is on the horizon as a direct result of the bullshit that's going on right now.
I'm telling you right now, Donald Trump is propelling the United States of America to have its wokest era yet. I personally grew up in a red state, live in a red state, and have many friends and family members who have voted red in the past, specifically for Donald Trump. These are the people who are extremely mad at Donald Trump and the entire Republican Party right now. In the past 9 months, I have not seen more people than I have right now who have voted red be upset and organize. I've seen them call their elected officials. I've seen them organize voters. I've seen them go out and protest. These people have decided to start joining our forces to fight back against the Republican Party and specifically Donald Trump. Which they know if that we are connected and working together, we are unstoppable and we are powerful. We will make sure that the United States is on a better trajectory than it is right now.
And again, I'm seeing the same thing myself, not so much with Trump voters per se, but with more normie liberal types who are appalled at all of the crimes that they're witnessing this regime commit. And we all got a small taste of the anger earlier this year at town halls for both Republicans and Democrats, as well as the special elections. But after multiple years of fascism, 2026, 2027, 2028, by then, it's going to reach the point where liberal wine moms might actually call on workers to seize the means of production and jail billionaires. So buckle up, MAGA, because all of this will come back to bite you in the ass, because what goes around comes around.
Luigi not happy.
They should sell a fucking subscription. Oh, that is why I got rid of that dog shit mouse.
What, your Death Adder?
No, the...
Well, folks, as we approach the year 2026, which of course is midterm election year, possibly the most consequential midterms of our lifetimes, the Democrats are poised to basically crush it. I mean, all of the polls now have Democrats with a double-digit lead over the Republicans. Public opinion on issues is shifting to favor the Democrats. Historically, the party that controls the White House will lose the House at least in their first set of midterms. Everything is looking like the Democrats have this on lockdown. But they can still screw it up. I mean, look, I am a Democrat. I've been a registered Democrat since the moment I turned 18 years old. And that's my party, okay? I'm not going to make any qualms about it. But I'm also not going to say that they are perfect and everything is wonderful with them, because it ain't, okay? Democrats are exceptionally great at fumbling at the goal line. So don't put anything past them. But that leads me to another viewer question, this one from @BillCook4768, who asks, what is the plan for Democrats to win in 26? What is their central message? What are we going to run on other than Orange Man bad? And that's a great question. Now, what can we run on other than Orange Man bad? We all know the answer to that. It's the economy. In fact, as Begala and Carville, when they were advising Bill Clinton in 1992, it's the economy, stupid. Remember the phrase? And that's what Democrats need to get back to. It's the economy, stupid. That is the only thing Democrats need to run on this coming year. A lot of people just got very angry that I said that. I'll say it again. The economy is the only thing Democrats need to be running on in 2026. Why? Because that is the top concern of American voters. American voters are getting screwed by this administration. We don't need Democrats getting dragged into a bunch of culture war issues. We can't do anything about it even if we take back the House and Senate. We will not have the numbers. Trump has the presidency and he has the courts. That doesn't mean that those issues are not important, because they are. People are losing their rights here in the United States every week under this administration or under right-wing governments at the state level. That is horrific, and it is absolutely leading towards disaster. But when Democrats get sucked into those culture war issues, they lose. They do. It happens.